I got a voicemail this morning from my good friend Chris. He's been an assistant principal for 17 years. He's a good guy, big heart. And he's in it for the kids. He's gone through some tumultuous times over the last couple years, though. And it started because he wanted to make a bigger impact in the world. He wanted to go for a principal job. So he applied for one. Actually applied for 4. And he got passed over for every single one. As you can imagine, this kind of crushed him. We had a heart-to-heart one night, and I shared with him a hard truth, which I'll tell you about in just a sec. So, who's familiar with the late Dr. Stephen Covey? Heard of him? Okay. And one of his most famous books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? So there's a concept in there that was a hard truth that I shared with Chris. And that was that we wake up in the morning with 100 units of energy that we can spend how we want to. And that there's a big, large circle, and it's called the circle of concern. And within that circle is a smaller circle. It's called the circle of influence. Circle of influence is that part of our lives that we can change. God grant me the serenity to. And the outer circle, the circle of concern, is the parts that we can't. So Chris was wrapped up in this whole big frustration with his principal. He was wrapped up with his frustration with the parents, wrapped up in the frustration with the school district, and he kept feeding that circle of concern. And what happens when you feed a puppy? It grows, right? Okay, so his circle of concern kept growing. And so what happened to his circle of influence? It shrank, right? Chris made a change that day. And he decided to figure out how to focus his energy on the circle of influence. A good example of that was that the school cut the PE budget. So what did he do? He gave up his lunches and started 5 days a week teaching a PE class. Chris is a different man today. He's just fed that circle of influence, and it's grown, and it's grown, and it's grown. And I was so thrilled when I listened to that voicemail today. You know what it said? Steve, I got the job. And he said, woo! So loud, the speaker started crackling. The lesson's easy here. Let's focus on the things we can change and grow those. If I'm frustrated walking through the park from all the litter, I'm going to pick it up and do something about it, then move on. If I got concerned, I'm mad about all the potholes and the puddles and everything, write a letter to the editor and then send it in and then move on. What my ask of you all is, what can you do to expand your circle of influence and make a change in the world just like Chris is doing today?